passing yardage, but that really didn't matter at this point. 17-7 in first downs. And the starting field position, it's always been a problem when you play Kansas State because of their kicker coming in. The average starting position for opponents was a 21-yard line, and Texas is right about on that today. 3rd down and 4. Applewhite waits till the last moment, trying to go to McGarity, incomplete. In and out of his hands as Dyshad Carter was there to help bump him in the back to make sure he didn't hold on.
Oh man, you know, that brings back bad memories right there. Forgot about that.
At the point of impact, this Kansas State team hits you about as hard as we've seen, I think.
Yeah, you figure that out. I mean, that's just superior athletes, because you have to be in position to make those type of tackles, and they are in position with their knees bent, and they hit you.
Here's the punt. That means David Allen's on the other end. Fair catch he has to call here. That's a rarity, and he takes it at the 43-yard line. So Kansas State with a penalty marker down. Did they not give Allen enough room there, even making the fair catch? Yet another. That's going to be the call, apparently.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. 5 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
So they'll be near midfield when they start this offensive set. Go behind the scenes of a nightly sports show where the real life stories happen. Don't miss the premiere of Sports Nights. It's coming up Tuesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central Time, right after the season premiere of Spin City, Tuesday night on ABC. Well, great starting field position again now for the Kansas State offense, working from its own 48-yard line. Bishop looks right, comes back to the left, and McDonald, who's got a career day going inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. 13 more yards. He's over 100 on 8 catches now for Darnell McDonald.
People continue to wonder, can Michael Bishop complete enough passes that this team can run the table? I mean, like Kansas State, I don't think they're really going to be satisfied with this season unless they go into that Nebraska game undefeated, with a chance undefeated, and go all the way, because that's the type of football team this is.
First down at the 39 of the Longhorns. Dusty Renfro thinking about a blitz, backs out of it. On a counter, it's Hickson, who's had a big game too. He had more than 100 yards in the first half. Good open field tackle by Quentin Jammer. And Hickson holding his right leg. I don't know if he got hit right on that by Jammer.
Let's hope this is a cramp.
Yeah.
Counter action this time. Jeremy Martin, number 78, is going to lead the way. He makes the nice fit this time on D.D. Lewis. D.D. can't get in there, and there's a hit again by your free safety.
Jammer hit him right on the side of the knee with his helmet. There's the numbers for Eric, who came in with 1,770 yards and needed 476 for the all-time rushing record at Kansas State, and he's well on his way with over 120 so far today, and we'll hope that he can come back in.
Besides Eric being a good runner, he does everything else well. The coaches tell you he blocks well, he knows what to do, runs good routes, catches the ball. That's why he's valuable. David
Allen on a little delay. He fumbled earlier in the ball game, broke a couple tackles here, and spins down near the 30-yard line. And he got about 6 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and a yard. Allen, of course, with an electrifying punt return in the first half of 93 yards, the second longest in Wildcats history. And 3rd down and short yardage. There have not been a lot of 3rd down situations for Kansas State. Quite frankly, they're getting too much yardage on 1st and 2nd. They're 5 of 7, though, today. And now, if Bishop gets that, they'll be 6 of 8 on the 3rd downs. Jermaine Anderson and Casey Hampton, along with Woodard, in on the stop.
Well, Mack used his ace speech last week against UCLA at halftime, Brad. What does he tell them this week?
I don't know.
Same thing on 2?
Yeah.
That's what I used to say in the huddle, okay, guys? I used to have Billy Sims in my backfield. We used to run that toss sweep so much that I used to go same thing on 2, and everyone knew what it was.
Give it to Billy. Yep. Here's a 4th down conversion. Last year, Kansas State was 12 of 17, 71% of their 4th down conversions. They're 3 of 4 this year. This is their first attempt at such today. 4th down, less than a yard. Bishop looks like he's got it. D.D. Lewis down on the bottom of the pile. along with J.J. Kelly, but they're going to move the sticks here, I think.
Michael Bishop, the more you watch him, the more you understand what being in the system for more than 1 year means to this guy. He came into the team, obviously, last year as a junior college transfer. Last spring was only the first time he ever went through spring practice, so really he now has 1 season, a bowl game, and a spring practice under his belt. You can see it. He's much more comfortable. He's not just running around and making plays. He's running within the offense.
Ron Hudson, their offensive coordinator, was saying the 17 practices between the end of the season and the bowl game last year, and then the 15 in the spring, and it was just marvelous how he came along. There's a nice play fake. He rolls and wants to run, or rather throw, and he does to Swift, the tight end.
Good thing he completed that, or it would have been intentional ground. It's the same play as before.
Now this one he delivers to his big tight end. First catch by Swift today,
Right, now,
the
how
senior.
about these people here? These tickets right here on this hill, those pay as much as the people in the stands. Now these are a little less, I think, right here. You don't get a chair here.
That's a bargain over there.
Those are a bargain. You get a bottle of suntan lotion for those over there.
Cool thing about there, though, is yeah, there you can see the
those
seats
are
in the end
seats.
zone.
See, those are $35, and you can jockey anywhere you want. Jam place.
42,000 plus on hand for this one. Second down and 6, 7th play of the Kansas State drive. Bishop, quick drop, zips it out, complete. McDonald again, fighting for yardage, and he's got it 1st and goal. Tony Holmes holding on for dear life, but McDonald, 6'3", 200-pounder, just dragging would-be tacklers with him. 18 more yards. McDonald on a day that, much like his bowl game performance of a year ago, the way things are going.
So many receivers and offenses are built around the bump and run coverage that they just run the fade out to the wide side. Well, here you see that the receiver stops on that coverage. Does not just adjust his route to the fade, runs out there and stops and just runs his route inside the bump coverage.
1st and goal, just inside the 7, 2 tight end set for the Wildcats. Texas almost jumped. They may have. Bishop on the option heads toward the end zone. Jermaine Anderson looked like the guy, the defensive end who may have jumped in that neutral zone before the snap. A true freshman, one of many that are playing for Texas. And they brought 13 freshmen, I believe, on the trip. And a lot of those guys are seeing action.
Dead ball prior to the snap. False start on the offense.
They're going to call it on the offense, and that's why Anderson jumped in, apparently. So this will back up the line of scrimmage outside the 10. Anything you can cheer about, Max saying, come on, guys, stay with it. 1st and goal back at the 11-yard line now.
That's one thing Max said. He says, we don't have time to teach effort around here. You guys either play hard, we'll find somebody else. If you can't try hard, we can teach you everything else, but effort's your job.
There'll be more and more freshmen playing if that doesn't continue, right? McDonald, the lone wideout to the near side, and David Allen, the tailback. And now everybody had it except the center that time, I think.
And Cummins that time said, I thought you said 3.
Yeah.
You said 2?
Yeah. He said, I heard Gary say next same thing on 2, but I didn't know you said 2.
Good ball prior to the snap.
That's my bad right there.
On the offense. 5 yards.
Well, this one's going the wrong way, and now they change up personnel. They'll bring in a wide receiver and bring Hickson back in, so his knee's all right.
Only 2 offensive linemen had to be replaced off this fine offensive line from a year ago. Todd Werner, who went to the Seattle Seahawks, and Kendall Jaycox, the center from a year ago. Randall Cummings is the guy who's taking his spot, and he's a little smallish size. They list him at 285, but he's probably only 265.
Play action, and now Bishop on his own. And he pays the price.
Normally I'd say that's outside of the design of the offense, but that was a called play. That was that play action quarterback draw again.
Down to the 15-yard line.
You make a mistake, you come over and you get to talk to Coach Snyder.
That's paying the price there, too. That's Shad Meyer, the backup tight end.
You want to play here, son? I know I recruited you, sat there and ate those lousy hamburgers with your mom and dad. You stay on
over in Pittsburgh, Kansas, but he almost became a gorilla of Pittsburgh State right there. Play action by Bishop on 2nd and goal, way back at the 15, throws a strike down to about the 1-yard line to McDonald again. Now they got it right back down close.
It's the same thing that happened before. So many people break off their routes and run fades. This time, no matter what the coverage is, there it is. Got bump run to the outside, adjust it, do a little arm over, and Michael Bishop says, I'm not laying this one up. I'm putting out there. Nice job. Irvis Hill was on coverage that time in there for Tony Holmes. The true freshman says, well, I was as close as Tony, Coach. I mean, I didn't stop him, but I was just as close.
10 catches for 136 yards from McDonald, and that one got him down to the 1 yard line. His feet were actually in the end zone. The ball touched down at the 1. 3rd down and goal, remember, because they were backed up twice by penalty. On the option, keeper Bishop. Not quite. So now do you go for it here up 35-0 or let your kicker have 3?
Either way, it's rubbing it in, isn't it?
Well, and that's what I mean. It looks kind of bad either way, but there's not much you can do as a coach.
I think you go for it.
I think you do too. And I'm pretty sure Mac Brown would understand that. You're down at the 1 foot line. You got a high-powered offense. You got a quarterback with great feet.
Monty Beisel, number 44, is in at fullback. He's regularly a backup defensive end, plays in the nickel position. He's right here, number 44.
Ryan Goolsby's the tailback right now, normally the fullback, and he gets the call, and he stops.
He didn't get it.
Nice play. I think Tony Holmes made the first contact. So a goal line stand, maybe something that Texas can hang its hat on here early in this 3rd quarter or midway through the 3rd quarter. Tony Holmes has been picked on today a little bit too.
Yes, D.D. Lewis and Tony Holmes kind of combined on this time. Beisel got it. Tony Holmes had the initial hit. D.D. Lewis came back and cleaned it up, and also Dusty Renfro was on the bottom of the thing.
Good news is they prevented a touchdown. The bad news is
their offense has to come.
At the 1. A little less than the 1, as you can see. So a long way to go for the Longhorns offense if they're to finally get points on the scoreboard in this one. Ricky Williams is going to empty the Texas backfield. Ricky Brown, though, is flanked out as a wingback on the right side. Applewhite running around, trying to find a receiver, and does. Out to about the 8 yard line, out to Kwame Cavill again. A little comeback, and Cavill catches his 5th ball of the day.
It's about the most successful play that Texas has had repeatedly throughout the day is bringing Applewhite outside the pocket, not getting big yardage on those plays, but at least avoiding that penetrating pass rush from the K-State front 4 and linebackers.
This young quarterback has hung in there today. He's taken some wicked licks. 2nd down and 3. Ricky Williams, this time he drags people with him for a 1st down.
Jeff Kelly, it's like he knows what play is coming each time. He's running so fast towards the line of scrimmage. He's just hitting it 1,000 miles an hour, and Ricky's going, I'm dodging a train every time I get the ball here before I get started.
A lot of people might be saying, well, yeah, but number 8's just staring at number 34 and going where he goes, but that's not the case. Remember, he had an interception in coverage earlier.
And you know, Mike Stoops doesn't throw around compliments. In fact, he does it about like he throws around manhole covers. But he said, I'll take Jeff Kelly over any middle linebacker in the country.
And he was including Katzenmoyer and company. Applewhite going deep. Oh, what a layout catch by McGarity. That's the 2nd time
Pass was complete to number 8.
Gone to the turf and diving out there and making the catch. He did one earlier, and that one goes all the way down to the 45 yard line.
Well, Applewhite showed you something here. This ball was thrown about 40 to 45 yards into a very brisk wind. Stepped up, threw it. Dyshawn Carter's on the coverage.
Right on the money.
Perfect throw. And that's a nice layout catch.
Yes, it is.
Garrity has struggled so much to stay healthy in his career. 5 different knee surgeries.
Ex-running back who made the switch to wide receiver a couple of years ago. Jamel Thompson takes his spot right now on the field while he gets a breather. Applewhite from behind got some pressure, incomplete, intended it for Derek Lewis, his tight end. Darren Howard again coming around the corner was just breathing right down Applewhite's neck again.
Sure was. And you know, we talk so much about the linebackers. We talk so much about that front 4. Darren Howard and Damian McIntosh and Andre Rowe kind of putting pressure on. But Jared Cooper and Lamar Chapman, the two safeties, do a nice job. Sometimes it's different guys play the free safety depending on formation, and they seem to be in the right spot all day, and they clean up those hits and make sure tackles.
Second down at 10.
Here's Cooper right here in the buck and run position in the three wide receiver spots.
Ricky Williams split out as a wide receiver, and Ricky Brown, the fullback, will get the carry.
Guess who on the tackle there?
No, that's Ricky Williams on the carry. I beg your pardon. It was Ricky Brown that was flanked out as a receiver. And Kelly, as you said, they help each other up there.
Ricky says, I'm going to help you up, my man.
You got to be getting sick and tired of hitting me. I'll help you up.
Watch him just dodge the people and get in there right as the ball is snapped. Having trouble clearing here. Beats the tackle on the down block and gets in there. See, not only does he avoid the blocking scheme from Octavius Bishop, number 75, but he meets the running back right in the hole.
Nunez, Cavill, and Thompson wide to the left side, and McGarity to the right. Shotgun formation here on third down at 9. Or Applewhite goes left, and that one had nothing on it.
That's because he had Darren Howard on him.
Number 49 draped on number 11 again.
Hard to have a lot on the throw.
Fourth down 8, 44-yard line.
It's tough to be a running back when your offensive line is getting manhandled like this. Can't get started. Just shows you how important it is to have a balanced attack when you're running offense in the 90s against these 8- and 9-man fronts.
Chris Stockton to punt. A lot of shifting on the defensive front for Kansas State. And a high lazy kick that Allen lets go. It's going to take a Texas bounce. They're going to be able to down this down inside the 10-yard line. Good coverage by D.D. Lewis. A frustrated All-American running back. His team in a big hole, 35-0.
At America's top university, the most gifted mind belongs to the guy who cleans the floors. Winner of 2 Academy Awards, including Best Original Screenplay and Best Supporting Actor Robin Williams.
You are bound by nothing.
Good Will Hunting, now on pay-per-view, rated R.
$5:32 left in the third quarter. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson with you. Kansas State all over Texas, 35-0, and on their way, it appears, to their 11th straight win. Michael Bishop, a touchdown throwing, 1 on the ground today as well. And Hickson over 100 and a 44-yard touchdown scamper. And McDonald's had a career day as far as number of catches, 10. That far outdoes what he did at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl last year when he caught 7 for over 200 yards. But he's on one of those kind of days. He might end up with 200 yards receiving before it's over. Collision in the backfield between Bishop and Allen goes down for a loss of about 3 as we head in to John Saunders in our New York studios. John?
Well, Brad, the Ohio State Buckeyes trying to fight back behind Joe Germain. This time he just a little toss to Joe Montgomery. Fights his way 7 yards for the touchdown. 2-point conversion is good. The Buckeyes back on top by a touchdown. Brad.
Now, yesterday we were talking with Ron Hudson, a former assistant at Ohio State, and I said, I think they're going to have trouble with Missouri. And you two said, no.
Well, up by 7. He's got a lot of runs.
35-0 here. Second down and 12. Allen trying to find an opening. Does out to about the 13-yard line. Marcus Wilkins, a true freshman, made the tackle.
I got a feeling that just like a week ago, Kansas State has lost their edge in this football game right now. They keep looking up at that scoreboard. It's 35-0. They just don't believe Texas is going to score any points on their defense. And Bill Snyder has his hands full trying to keep the attention of his team right now.
Attention's a good point, yeah.
Hard to believe that Kansas State would have trouble keeping attention to play Texas, isn't it?
It took them from 1968 to 1988 to win as many games as Bill Snyder did in his 10 seasons as they put it together.
I remember 1989, Sports Illustrated called Kansas State the worst program in college football.
Yep, in the history of maybe.
It could have
They always buried him down there in the 105 to 112 grouping.
You know, this guy has got people from all over the state coming to watch these games.
Right.
He's got coaches from all over the country coming around and trying to pick his brain on how he built this program. And I think he's gotten more guys fired, more coaches fired than a convention of athletic directors. Because everybody says if Bill Snyder can do it at Kansas State,
you can do it
wherever you are.
Yeah. James Garcia, he doesn't get many opportunities. Set to punt. And Hodges Mitchell waiting on the other end near the 40-yard line. Garcia, and he hit this one a mile. Mitchell, oh my, this might go goal line to goal line. Mitchell's in his own end zone right now and comes out with it. Swarmed under at the 7. Well, he says, you know, our place kicker's got a big leg. When I've got the wind behind me, mine isn't bad either. A 78-yard punt by James Garcia. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Fidelity Investments, where 12 million investors put their trust. BF Goodrich Tires, take control. And by Marriott Hotels, Resorts, and Suites. We believe when you're comfortable, you can do anything. Kansas State doing about anything they want with Texas so far. Deep into the third quarter, they're in front 35-0. Second straight start for the Longhorn offense inside its own 10-yard line. Not a comfortable position for Major Applewhite again, making his first start in for the injured Richard Walton. The exception to those 2 interceptions, he's not played too badly, actually. Here's a little quick opening draw to Ricky Williams. And Ricky maybe got 2 or 3 yards on the carries. We check in with John Saunders in New York.
Right time for the Burger King play of the day from the Washington BYU game. Gray Butler, 98 yards. This is at the start of the second half. Really puts BYU in the hole. He takes it in for the touchdown. Also had an interception return for a touchdown. That's why Washington leads it 20-10. Brad.
All right, John, we're going to see Washington next week against Nebraska. 2nd down and 7. Applewhite throws short. Nice job getting the pass away after he got some pressure and got it to Kwame Cavill, who picked up a 1st down.
Pass is complete to number 9, Kwame Cavill.
Applewhite was trying to go to his tight end, Derek Lewis. You don't think this defense does a good job. Watch Derek Lewis come out. He's right here. They're going to have 2 guys on him. Look at that.
He looked like a purple sandwich
Oaks
there,
and
didn't he?
Semino said, we know this one right here.
1st down, 16-yard pickup, though, as he got it to Cavill, out to the 26-yard line. Applewhite wants to go deep and does. And let's see who came down with it.
It's going to be a simultaneous catch. Nice
McGarity still got a hold of it, and it is going to be a catch. He's had 3 long receptions today. That one's good for 40. He had a 42-yarder earlier. So Wayne McGarity and Kwame Cavill hanging in there, the 2 wide receivers.
Can't ask for better coverage than this. Carter's right on him. Ball's thrown. I thought Carter was in a better position to get it, but
So did
McGarity
I.
goes up and says, I'm getting this. I want my stats.
McGarity, the senior out of San Antonio, went up and got it.
Catches of 32, 42, and 40. That helps the old average.
Certainly does. He'll get a breather again. Jamel Thompson takes his spot in the lineup at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10. See if number 34 gets the handle again, and if so, if he can find any room to run. Nope, they'll throw. Applewhite. And that one intended for Jamel Thompson. Joe Bob Clements. Brought the woodshed.
Pass is intended for number 12, Jamel Thompson.
Oh, my. He jumped over that time. Ricky Brown, I believe, was the blocking back in front of him.
Major's trying to see if all the discs still work in his neck.
Oh, my goodness.
Ouch. Clements hit him right in the face.
Yeah, he didn't really get him on the face mask, but he did get him in the face.
I wonder Major is making sure that head can still be on a swivel of a little bit.
That's why you
there.
do those neck exercises, because you needed it right there.
Ouch. He was a 17 shirt collar when he came into the game. It'll be a 19 tomorrow. And there's Walton, the guy whose spot he's taken today. Richard out with a broken bone in his throwing hand. 1:43 left, 3rd quarter. 1st and 5 at the 29. Applewhite's going to loft one out for Jamel Thompson. And too far, out of bounds.
Pass is intended for number 12, Jamel Thompson. Incomplete. Depending on play for Kansas State.
You know, I've been noticing this crew over here. I think the best disciplinarian is the teacher that keeps these guys right here. I mean, they haven't moved the whole game. Because, I mean, they're looking at all this room over here. Well,
why? Why are they there?
Why are they there? Let's see, some kind of kid group, right? That's Bill Snyder's family. That's why he told them to stay there.
Got a better angle to the field, huh? Well, the other 41,000 plus are on their feet right now. 2nd and 5, cheering on the defense. Ricky Williams ran into his own blocker and got about 3 more. Boy, everyone has just been tough sledding today for Ricky.
Travis Oaks came up and turned that in. Travis Oaks, of course, the brother of Dirk Oaks, who played here for 4 years. 8 years in a row there's been an Oaks brother playing here, and this is the end of an era, because Travis is senior year now, and nice. If there's any other brothers with OCHS, recruit them, Bill.
Bill's probably wishing they would have planted a few more Oaks a long time ago,
right.
so we have some more linebackers. 3rd down, and about 2 coming up.
We'll not wait for the tapes of this. We'll just go on. Of course, the Stoops brothers were, as defensive coordinator, Bobby and Mike, and here now, and
Mark's at Wyoming, secondary coach. Wyoming gave Georgia all they wanted today. The Bulldogs survived 16-7. 3rd down at 2. Would sort of think it's 2-down territory for Texas, down 35-0, but we'll wait and see. Applewhite trying to draw him offside. Finally does get the snap. And Ricky Williams has a 1st down. Damian McIntosh, who was shaken up earlier, big number 77 in there on the tackle. McIntosh, they talk about him in glowing terms. He played last week actually as an offensive and a defensive lineman in the game.
He did. Watch Travis Oaks, Brad. Watch him come down and take on his blocker. Not only does he just make tackles, he does what he's supposed to do. Reverse shoulder, that's called. When you come upfield, you turn your outside shoulder in and just make a pile.
First down run to the 23. Ricky Williams motions out of the Longhorn backfield. Applewhite straight down the middle for Derek Lewis, and Oaks may have gotten a hand on that. Back in coverage, the linebacker.
The MVP of last year's Fiesta Bowl, Travis Oaks, is now in pass coverage.
He had an interception and a fumble recovery in that Fiesta Bowl.
This time he reads the pass, comes over there and gets on. What a wonderful football player. We had him as a young guy in the Holiday Bowl, and the coaches were saying, wait till you see this guy when he's going to be a senior, and they were right.
Yep.
He was hurt most of last year with a shoulder problem he hurt against Texas A&M, and really never was 100% until that bowl game.
Sat out in the spring after having surgery to fix that shoulder. It doesn't look like it's bothering him today. 8th play of the Texas drive. Still struggling to find some points. Quick opener on a spread formation for Ricky Williams. Jeff Kelly tripped him up. Pickup of about 5, a stumble of 5 maybe.
Yeah, there was a lot of space that time for the first time I've seen in a while, and Jeff Kelly had to make a tackle with some space around him. That's always much tougher.
Looks like that's going to do the third quarter in, and still no points on the board for the Texas Longhorns. That ends 3 quarters of play in Manhattan, Kansas, and it is still Kansas State 35-0. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
This is ABC Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson back to start the 4th quarter here at Kansas State Stadium in Manhattan. And the conclusion of today's game will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game for each team. In recognition of those athletes, Chevrolet will make a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. Major Applewhite through 3 quarters of play in his first collegiate start has hung in there on the drive that started way back at the 7-yard line for Texas. He has the Longhorns 3rd and 5. Toss. Ricky Williams trying to get to the corner. Put a stiff arm out.
Nice.
He dives out for what might be a first down. He scored 3 of his touchdowns this year with that very same move. And I don't know whether or not he got the first down. They may have to take a look at it.
I think he did, just like he's hit the pylon that time. That is his patented move. Just dive it out there and stretch the ball out. Leading the country in scoring going into this game with 9 touchdowns, and he went for this first down like it was he runs out here and goes, what? Space? I don't believe this.
Wasn't there for long, though, was it?
That's exactly right. Just closed in on it.
And then the dive. Wow. And they will bring the chains all the way from the other side of the field.
Of course, he was going for the marker that really wasn't the official one. Ricky goes, oh, my God. I mean, I did all that dive, and it wasn't even the right side. But
I still think he got it.
Yep.
Ricky Williams studies so many running backs. He loves the Barry Sanders of the world. He's watched a lot of tape of Earl Campbell, who everybody has compared him to because they both played at Texas, and a lot of other running backs. But you talk about of his 9 touchdowns this year, you watch out the Ricky Williams Superman dive. Boom, there's one. Here comes one going left. Whoop, boom.
Yep, reached it out just like that first
down. Put a cape on him. He had one against UCLA last week. So that's his move. That's his patented move. But you know what he said? He said, I've always heard so much about Jim Brown. Can somebody get me more tape to watch on Jim Brown? I mean, this is a kid that just wants to get better week in and week out.
I'll tell you somebody who can. Barry Sanders' dad, who says Jim Brown's better than Barry.
That's right. It's pretty bad when your own dad's not in your corner.
That's not fair.
I think Barry's a very close second, though. Applewhite on first down. Throws it to the corner. Touchdown. Finally off the scoreless side of the scoreboard is McGarity, who had 3 big catches earlier now from 13 yards out, a touchdown pass. Major Applewhite's first in his college career.
Major Applewhite has had 2 interceptions, but he has not been the determining factor in this football game. I think he's accounted himself very well.
Yes, he has.
Mac Brown again is saying, just want you guys to play hard at this point. Throws the fade, and again throws it very well. Puts it in the spot where Butler can't get it. McGarity, kind of a coming out game for him today. Looked very good.
So 3 long catches and then the 13-yarder for the touchdown and the extra point. Good. 35-7. Texas finally on the board here early in the 4th quarter. Game 35-7. Kansas State. Chris Stockton's got it teed up for the Longhorns, who scored. Major Applewhite's touchdown toss to Wayne McGarity, and he knocks this one out of the end zone. He too with his wind at the back. One bounces into the crowd. Kansas State will have to start from the 20. One of 3 Division I schools that have a head coach, a player, and a member of the football staff from the same family in our Home Depot coaches fact. The Snyder family, Oklahoma State with Coach Simmons, and also Houston. It's a family affair. Of course, there was talk, and there's Coach Snyder's son, who actually had a pretty good game last week in a running back spot, had over 30 yards on the ground. Ross 13 for 39 last week. Marlon Charles, speaking of tailbacks, in there, the 3rd tailback. He gets it on a little counter and spins out for about a yard. That's it. Aaron Humphrey in on the tackle.
He was tackled by number 49, Aaron Humphrey.
And Coach Snyder's other son right there behind Cleveland, Sean, the assistant AD in charge of football operations.
Brother to brother.
That's right.
You know what this is? I wonder what Dad and Mom are having for dinner.
Yeah, you think we could go over there and take some of it from them?
You know, listen, can I have the Mountain Dew? You can have the diet. I don't really like the diet, Coach.
You're the only guy that looked in the media guide at Kansas State and saw the Snyder picture and says, this probably only took 10 minutes. It's the only time Bill would get away from football long enough to take the picture. Here's a little shovel pass. Ball loose and picked up by Texas.
Now, if it hit the ground and it's an incomplete pass.
And that's what they're going to say. They'll say it hit the ground, because that is a forward pass and nothing but an incompletion. I thought maybe he scooped it up before it hit the ground.
Yeah,
Here's
another one of those true freshmen, Jermaine Anderson, stayed there and made the play. Boy, I'll tell you, he made the play. There's another bad one.
See, that
was an interception.
That was cradled. I think so, too.
Absolutely. That was an interception. Let's see if they have a little bit of a conference here and get one right.
Play was ruled a forward pass. It was a shovel pass, incomplete.
Well, close, but that's all right.
They got half of it right.
Yeah. Yeah, Mac's saying, no, that ain't right.
Mac's saying, you know what, I've never had to send anything into the Big 12 office film-wise to talk about officiating. I think probably I'll do it this week.
The catch, the steal,
kept it
the
on his
interception,
pads,
did
tucked
not
it in.
hit the ground. All right. Well, you know, when it was 21-0, I was saying they were the 3rd best team. But, you know, now Texas and them are probably tied for 2nd, right?
3rd down and 9. Hickson back in there, the running back spot. Bishop, some pressure for the first time, and down he goes.
Jermaine Anderson. Don't give me an interception, give me a sack.
That's right. True freshman out of Texas City, Texas, showing he wants to play more and more, and he has more and more in this half. And he's made some nice plays.
I'll continue to say, though, that Kansas State has lost their focus in this game. Texas is not going to get as much pride out of finishing this second half as they did against UCLA last year. Now, Mac,
last week,
yes. Mac, I think, is just trying to survive these 2 games and get against a few people he maybe can match up in talent a little bit more.
Last time Garcia had the wind with him and hit 178 yards. He'll go into the wind here.
Beauty.
Still got a great kick. Hodges Mitchell backpedaling again and has to let it go again. Wow, 2 unbelievable kickers. One a punter, one a kicker on this team. And the Texas native playing for Kansas State, a 67-yarder that time. James Garcia out of Victoria, Texas. One of the Texas natives on this team. Look at his average today and a 78-yarder. He says he was so little when they started to put his fingers in the form of the Texas Longhorn when he was growing up as a baby. He was probably sucking his thumb on the same hand at the same time. And yet ends up at Kansas State, and he is booming kicks today. 13 minutes left, 35-7. The Wildcats in front. Ricky Williams, Jack. Oh, my. He's a heat-seeking missile.
He really is. And you know, the scouting report from Mike Stoops was Texas likes to run the sweep from split backs. Mike Kelly said, I remember my game plan. They like to run the sweep, goes inside the blockers that time, doesn't go around the end, and catches it from behind. What a player.
Ricky Williams may be headed for a career low game the way things are going today.
He may be passing guys the other way.
The other direction. In a tough day.
You might have to get last week's list out.
8 rushes for no yardage or loss. Play action. Applewhite swarmed under. Howard's been coming after him all day. Finally got him. 11 sacks last year, was just a half sack shy of tying the school record. This kid is not only pretty good size, he's fast.
Well, this time he goes through 2 guys, good coverage downfield. Roger Raisler was the one left guard that had him. And you know, they lined Darren Howard up all over. End in normal situations, defensive tackle in the nickel slot. He's tough to find, and he's tough to block. 6'4", 270.
3rd down and 18. Applewhite down the middle. Got some of the yardage. Back ball loose.
That's a turnover. That ball was caught and then free. I think Jeff Kelly's the guy that got the hit.
And the man holding the football is Lamar Chapman.
Kelly's halfway already on the bench. He's so sure it's a fumble. Kelly goes out one way, reads the eyes of Applewhite. There's the catch. Here comes number 8. Ball's out before the knees come on the ground. That's a fumble. At least it should be.
And it is. What a defense. And what a linebacker.
Kelly is another one of 9 junior college players that is starting for these teams, either on offense or defense. Only a 2-year player for this team, but one of the great players.
To the line of scrimmage now, the 23-yard line for the Kansas State offense again. They've already scored 3 times today, the offense that is. The defense has scored 7, and the special teams have scored 7, accounting for the 35 on the board for the Wildcats. This guy's thrown 1 and run in 1 today. And a 1st and 10 now at the 23-yard line. They get down in that red zone, they don't miss much. Bishop going to throw deep to the corner. Man is there. Got him. Touchdown, McDonald.
Holy cow.
23 yards. Michael Bishop to Darnell McDonald.
He can throw the ball 93 yards. This time he only threw it 43 yards, but it was right on the money. I want to show you something. Players appreciate talent. This time McDonald says, I'm open by a crack over Irvis Hill. The ball is thrown right there. Now watch Jermaine Anderson, the defensive end for Texas, after the throw. Michael Bishop throws that one, and you're going to see some guy who appreciates talent from Texas. Extra point to make it 42-7, and the hold was mishandled. The ball loose. Texas trying to find the handle, and they're going to be dragged down. Irvis Hill, I think, is the guy that blocked it. The snap appeared to be a little bit low, and the hold was never there for James Garcia to have Gramatica kick it. And so it's 41-7. Michael Bishop rolls one way, throws back, gets hit, gets back up, and just as he gets back up, Anderson says, give me 5. That was a hell of a throw. I feel so much better with my hat on.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford Taurus. Ford, built to last. By Valvoline. You can always tell the guys who use Valvoline. AT&T, it's all within your reach. And by Coors Light, frost brewed to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
And that only happened to me one time in my career. Threw a pass, I got a high five from a defender. It was from Tom Jackson from the Denver Broncos.
I thought you were going to say Lawrence Taylor.
No. I didn't get close enough. I was always a dip.
At the 8-yard line, Nunez fields the kick, and he goes out to about the 23. And a little pushing and shoving after the play. Kansas State, well, those first two opponents so overmatched, but now with a win coming up today, then it's Northeast Louisiana. You got to assume they're 4-0 as they go to Boulder on October 10th.
Yeah, and you know what, a nice schedule. The big games are pretty well spaced out. You know, at Colorado, the Nebraska way down here, and then of course you've got the Missouri game. Missouri's probably going to be a key game for this football team, but I don't think this team is going to be afraid of anyway. Bill Snyder has this team ready.
Well, he is a guy that stays focused on football just about every minute of every day. We'll talk more about that as we go here with 11:09 left. 41-7. Kelly's thinking about a blitz, and he brings it. Applewhite throws a strike. Nice pass again, and it's out to McGarity, who's already got a career high, and now he's got 142 yards on 5 catches. So Wayne's had a good game. Bill Snyder doesn't spend a lot of time about anything except football. They put in long hours here, the coaching staff. You asked him, you said, are you a workaholic? And he said, I don't really think so. And I said, Coach, do you have any hobbies? You like fishing or golf, whatever?
Said he hated fishing, right?
Yeah, he didn't like fishing. Tried that once with his son. He said, I can't sit there on the bank and do nothing. But he said, golf.
Yeah.
Golf, I love golf.
He says, I love golf. How many times did he play?
I said, he said 3 times he says he's played in the last 5 years. You and I thought he was going to say 3 times last week.
Right.
3 times in the last 5 years.
Gary, Brett, I love golf. I played 3 times in the last 5 years.
You talk about golf. They got a management course here in golf, in horticulture. First degree will be earned in the year 2000. They got a thing called a mini Rizotron. Yeah. It's a sensor deal they put down on the ground. It checks the root growth of the grass out on the golf course. Look at this. I need this guy in my yard.
That's right.
I mean, they put it together here.
That looks just like the map we used to get here.
Golf course management. I love that.
I love Bill playing golf 3 times in 5 years. He's still got the same sleeve of balls he got when he came here.
2nd down and 7. Applewhite. He gets hit by Kelly. The ball rolls harmlessly out near the line of scrimmage.
How about that? The worst of that, even worse than that, he gets railed by Kelly, and Oaks knocks down the pass. This Kansas State defense reminds me of those great Oklahoma defenses or Miami defenses where the linebackers were so fast and cleaned up so many plays, and the front 4 just get in there and disrupt things. It's amazing to watch these guys play.
What did you say at the beginning? Disrupt up front.
Disrupt, clean up, and mop up the mess afterwards. Wow. That's about what they do.
That's their 3 lines of defense. 3rd down and 7. From the shotgun. Just another 10 minutes left. Applewhite throws, almost picked off, and then almost caught. Dyshad Carter got a hand on it, and so did Jamel Thompson.
One more story about Major Applewhite. When Mac Brown got the job at Texas, Major got on the internet that night and started emailing the quarterbacks at UNC to try to get a head start on the offense that Coach Brown was going to bring to Texas. As a guy that wants to play football.
No doubt about it. Punt coming up from Stockton. He's punted well today, too, with the exception of one that he hit too far, and David Allen took 93 the other way, and one he shanked off the side of his foot. This one he hits a mile in the air. This is perfect, unless Allen still has a chance. David Allen. Here he goes. Cuts to the outside, the punter to beat. Down the sideline and out of bounds. And comes up limping a little bit, but still got over 40 yards on the return. What a punt returner this kid is. Some guys just have the knack. My next door neighbor, Billy White Shoes Johnson, had it. This kid's got it. 41-7, Kansas State.
The Bowl Championship Series is online with live action, interviews, game highlights, and live polls on the web at ESPN.com.
Coming up, college football next Saturday. Doubleheader, noon Eastern. Many of you see Michigan State and Michigan. USC and Florida State at 3:30 start. We'll be in Cornhusker land for the Huskies and the Cornhuskers. Number 9 against number 3. There's all the games. Check the game that you'll get in your area or what you can pick up on pay-per-view.
Well, this guy's a player, this Jermaine Anderson.
You got to get him in the lineup full time. True freshman, 6'3", out of Texas City, Texas, and he's raising some havoc right now in the Kansas State backfield.
I would like to play against him last year when you were in high school.
David Allen, who limped off after that last punt return. They're wrapping his ankle on the sideline
They're
right
also
now.
covering him up because Bill Snyder does not allow anything for injuries to get out.
Right. No injury reports from the sideline, so.
It's the Scotty Bowman of college football. You got to be a hockey fan to understand that one.
Marlon Charles, he comes in at the tailback spot, and he dances his way inside the 35. Good looking run, Quentin Jammer, and again, it's a bad sign when your safety's making all the tackles. 16-yard pickup on the play.
Hand the ball off deep. You're down to your third string tailback. Follow another one of those big pulling linemen this time. Make a nice move and have the safety tackle. That's a good one. You know, that was Brian Hanley, number 73, 325 pounds. Believe it or not, he started his college career as a basketball player, a point guard at Xavier.
Yeah, point guard. They weighed about 250 then. Charles with another good-looking run, and McGowan, the other safety, makes the tackle.
Pete Gillum recruited him as a point guard.
Pete's a tough guy. It must have been a tough point guard. So another 9-yard pickup, second down and a yard coming up for Marlon Charles. Charles also a senior out of nearby Kansas City. A couple hours down the road. In there for Hickson, who got his knee bumped earlier, and then Allen, who came up hobbling after that punt return. So he's showing well here as the third string tailback. And motion on the left side. Looked like Justin Swift, the tight end, flinched a little bit over there in his stand-up style of the tight ends of Kansas State, a la Iowa.
Yep. Phil Snyder, of course, was the offensive coordinator for Hayden Fry. Look at those stats from Michael Bishop. Remember, he was a 42% passer a year ago. He comes close to completing over 50% of his passes this year. They're going to have a diamond, not just an athlete.
A little bit of a piece of tape, almost like a little mini cast on that one ring finger on his right hand. He dislocated that a week ago Tuesday in practice.
41-7, Michael Bishop still in the football game. I got to believe this is his last series, so I think he's going to try to put one on. You know, this is the position where they like to run that rub-off fade inside. Texas has gone to a zone look, though.
They're going to keep it on the ground at Charles. Sidestepping tacklers put down by D.D. Lewis at the 25. Short of the first down by a couple. And we're down to 7:25 remaining in the ball game. DeAndre Dwayne Lewis, that's the DD, and he didn't even know who D.D. Lewis was. Some of these young guys don't know the great linebackers of yesteryear in the NFL. And D.D. was a Dallas Cowboy for 13 or 14 years. But he said, I understand he's a pretty good one, and I don't mind being mentioned with him.
Of course, the backup quarterback for Kansas State is Adam Helm. They're trying to redshirt Jonathan Beasley.
Charles spinning around, and down he goes, and got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Speaking of pro football, don't forget your exclusive home for primetime NFL. Sunday night, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. It's the Eagles against the Arizona Cardinals. Then Monday night on ABC Sports, it's Monday Night Football live at the new time, 8 o'clock Eastern. The Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. That's your twin bill. Sunday night on ESPN, Monday night on ABC. Fourth down and a long one coming up, and Kansas State will go for it. The give to Charles, and he's got it. And he's down to the 20.
Can't dance around on that one, Marlon. 4th and 1, you better not dance in the hole. You better pick up your first down, then do the dancing, or you'll be dancing somewhere besides Manhattan.
He only played 6 games last year due to injuries. Had 183 yards on the season today, getting a lot of spot duty. He actually came in as the top rusher. He had 138 yards coming into this one, but Hickson has gone well past that, over the 300-yard mark with his performance today. And now Marlon doing the cleanup duty, down to 6 minutes.
I think next drive we'll see Junior Snyder, backup quarterback.
They keep going like this, there might not be another drive. Take all that time in the huddle and get 5 yards of pop. Play action, Bishop flares it out for his tight end Swift. Swift's got it down, 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. Justin, an 11-yard reception.
Justin was the backup, second team all Big 12 tight end last year. Justin said, I'm open all the time, it's just Michael doesn't throw me the ball.
Michael's got to spread it around, and Michael's got to do some running with it too.
Only so much ball out there.
Bishop has put on quite a show again today without even trying to. That's how good he is. Charles, left side, got popped pretty good at the 6 and bounced down to the 4. Lewis hit him first. Dusty Renfro cleaned up.
You got to believe people will take notice if Kansas State throws on a little 49-7 score on that thing when people are looking at highlights and looking at scores. That will get noticed, and people will forget those 2 opening games. You know, I really believe that Bill Snyder is very, very smart to do what he does to play those 2 opening games. I mean, they're almost used as preseason games. He gets his team ready. He looks at a lot of people, gets his special teams ready, which is really the toughest thing to start out with, and then he goes into the heart of his schedule.
Second down and goal.
Timeout, Kansas State.
And a timeout taken by Kansas State. We'll take one as well with 4:48 left. 41-7 Wildcats. (41-7) with just under 5 minutes left. Kansas State out in front and in control. Bill Snyder's team on its way to a 3-0 start, and
Michael Bishop likes to go to the fade out here, the bump down. They'll bump down and go to the fade to the outside on this play.
Second and goal just outside the 4.
To the slot man. They like to bump down on it and throw the fade.
Well, they might be changing things up at the line here. Texas thinking about a blitz. Texas may have jumped in.
Throw the fade. He had it.
I think they're going to go closer to the goal line for the next snap. Looked like Texas.
Nice angle, guys.
Jumped in there.
Defense, offside, contact before the snap.
You can almost see Michael Bishop salivating the play before.
If time permits, don't forget, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report featuring scores and highlights from across the country with John and Todd. Some near surprises and some surprises, as there is every week.
The fans here had a huge cheer when they saw Missouri ahead of Ohio State. Of course, they don't want Missouri to do real well, but they would sure like Ohio State to lose and open up a spot for Kansas State to move up. But the Buckeyes seem to have come back.
A lot of purple in the stands here today, and they're going to be on their feet again if their team can go the last couple of yards to the end zone. Charles all alone, touchdown. Marlon Charles, 2-yard touchdown run. They got so many weapons, and even when a couple of them get banged up a little bit, they just bring in another one.
Well, it all goes with the point guy. Number 7 right there. They have to defense him. The game plan was brilliant. Start out with a lot of quarterback draws. Establish the fact that we have 3 running backs in the backfield, even though we have 2 wide receivers. You have to stop Bishop on the run and the pass, and then everything seems to open up after that.
Remember a bad snap last time on the extra point. This one's perfect. Grammatica's kick is as well. And it's 48-7.
That's right.
4:41 left.
Well, interesting, I think, Big 12 Conference this year. Colorado is better than advertised. And they have a very favorable schedule. They do not play Texas or Texas A&M. You know, they play this team at home, so I think they're sitting very nicely. Rick Neuheisel might have a team that he feels good about.
And he thinks now that they got their wake-up call a little bit last week that they'll be a little more focused.
Yes.
You know Nebraska's always going to be tough. They had the week off, and they meet Washington in a game Gary and I will have for you next week. So it's going to get interesting in this conference.
Oklahoma was going in today 2-0, first time since under John Blake that they've been 2-0. So a few teams in the Big 12 doing well.
Speaking on from Kansas State, number 10, Martin Gramatica.
Gramatica will kick.
Also Nebraska, look at Nebraska's end of their schedule. They go against Missouri and Texas. Then they have Iowa State, which is probably one they can blow through. But then they finish up with Kansas State and Colorado. So that's a tough finish for the Nebraska team.
Gramatica high and short on this one. Way up there in the air. Texas better get on it. This happened last week. Kansas State got on one of these a week ago. That's a free ball.
Alphonse Gaston right there.
Chad Irwin jumped up there and snared it. Ricky Williams, 45 yards rushing on 24 attempts. You know, in the last 15 games, as you take a look at the list, Ricky, we thought was going to maybe move way up past Marinero today if he had a huge game.
Right.
He's in that number 18 spot and still may pass Terry Miller before this one's over. But in the last 15 games, the Kansas State defense has only given up 100-yard ground game.
That's right.
And that was Amon Green of Nebraska, had 193 last year in the only game they lost. So when they don't give up 100 to the big star on the other side, they don't lose. And that's what's happening today.
Subs are in.
Applewhite on the give. Ricky Brown. And Ricky got it out to the 36-yard line, the other Ricky. And Ricky Williams didn't go up in the touchdown list either. He still got Anthony Thompson of Indiana in his sights with 10 more to go to tie and 11 to pass him. And that one's not going to be added to today either, unless he breaks one here in the waning moments. We're down to 4 minutes in the game. He has not had a run, I don't believe, of over 7 yards today, has he?
I don't think so, but I know he's had a loss of more than 7 yards.
That's for sure. Here he is.
Cow, here comes another one.
He might lose some more.
What a defense.
They will swarm after you. The Purple Swarm, the lynch mob, as you said, they call them around here.
They're so different than what you remember. Really, the legacy of Bill Snyder and Stoops and everybody coming from Iowa, where they sat in that soft zone, 4-deep look. This is attack, 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 and boy, they are good at it.
There's Coach Stoops. His team has got some outstanding talent and speed. Ohio State has beaten Missouri despite the scare. Applewhite, whoops, that one just came off his hand. Well, he's going to hear from the Kansas State fans, but I think he, as you said early, has played about as well as you can expect a young guy to come in and play.
That was the old air ball, air ball.
Fourth down, 5, 34-yard
Fourth down, and David Allen, who went out limping after that 42-yard return on the last punt, is not in there. Lamar Chapman will take his spot.
Right now, David Allen's saying, "Now, Lamar, now don't spoil it. Don't do it. You know, don't run for one against me, because I want them to all think it's just me."
Well, Lamar has run for one before. He's got a 94-yarder to his credit.
Bad punts are good punts.
He's going to take it on the hop at the 6. And he goes down at about the 8, maybe the 9-yard line. We're down the last 3 minutes of this one. Michael Bishop, we assume we have seen the last of.
Yeah,
his
I think
numbers
they will
today.
make a change. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
14 of 20 for 182 yards. A couple of touchdowns, 41 yards on the ground, and another score. So a Bishop-like day, without a doubt.
Well,
and now Adam Helm will take the helm.
Actually, a little bit out of character, Brad. I mean, I think that, you know, there's no way Bill Snyder will figure that this guy will be able to keep up that type of passing percentage all year. I think he will be effective. He doesn't have to have that high of a percentage to do it.
So Helm takes over at quarterback here in the final 3 minutes. And to give to Charles, who just scored on the last drive. And he's out near the 10-yard line. Got a couple.
You know,
there's Michael's numbers we were just talking about. Two in the air and 1 on the ground.
Hard to believe he can throw the ball with the velocity he does. It's not like he's 6'5" or anything like that. You know, he's maybe a 6'1", 200 pounds, but he has big hands and seems to really get the whip on the ball. Never really got loose with his feet today.
Yep. And even with that, he still ended up with
right.
41 yards
He
rushing.
established the game plan, though, with him.
Right. Helm on the give. Charles trying to cut back. Got to the line of scrimmage, maybe the 11. Casey Hampton in on the stop. Bill Snyder's team on its way to yet another victory over a non-ranked opponent at home. This will be 42 straight they've won at home against non-ranked opposition. And their winning streak will go to 11 games, and that's a school record. So every time they play, it seems like another record drops. And when you got talent like David Allen and those kind of things, every play you kind of hold your breath and wait for somebody to make a big play.
Well,
they made enough of them today.
Yeah, it's not like he was trying to break Babe Ruth's record.
Well,
here, though,
that's right.
He didn't have a lot of good records to beat.
That's true. Helm goes down. Hampton got it. You know, you talk about around campus, we did this earlier. They got the Green Science Department in the College of Horticulture. The department's the only one of its kind in the nation. This is a bakery here. That guy looks like he's had a few loaves of bread. Schnellenberger Hall, bakery science and management degree you can get. They have frozen dough experiments for retail stores. And I mean, you know, what comes out of there a few minutes later, I guess that's at about 400, right? You pull that baby out, and you got your grains. You got your grain. We got ours.
Yeah,
we got
ours right here.
We got to take this with us now. We're going to have sandwiches on the plane on the way out of here. Stuff smells great.
Right.
I'm trying to cut down on my carbs,
yeah,
so I don't know if I'm going to eat the whole loaf or not. Down here, final 45 seconds. And the officials whistle it dead before the punt. Boy, Bill Snyder, the job he's done now in his 10th year.
Dead ball, delay game, offense, half the distance to the goal.
When they ended the 1980s, their record was 1 win, 36 losses, and 1 tie. And since he took over, 69, 37, and 1. Not bad, huh?
Here they go. Here they go.
Not bad at all. 136 and 1.
Mm-hmm. That was the 80s. The 90s have been much nicer.
How do you have enough guts to take a program over like that?
Oh, man. You're not kidding. Punt fielded by Hodges Mitchell. And flags down. They're probably going to call again that they didn't give enough room to make the catch. And sometimes you just got to let them go, guys. We've got 34 seconds left in a game that has nothing left to it other than the final gun.
Mac Brown right now is glad to be through UCLA and Kansas State.
Yep.
Now
sure.
he can look at the rest of the schedule and say, all right, here we go from here. We played our 2 preseason games. And from now on, we're expecting wins, not just moral wins.
Mm-hmm. And as you said, we'll see more and more of those true freshmen playing. Look down at our spotter board. They got 9 guys just on defense that are true freshmen.
I like the strategy Bill Snyder uses with playing teams that he can beat in non-conference games.
33 seconds remaining, 48-7. We got a timeout. This team to just 7 points. So they're scoring in bunches and they're not giving up much. That's the story for 4th-ranked Kansas State. And they hustle out Ross Snyder, the coach's son, into the tailback position. And Helm takes a knee. This one's over. Kansas State cruises. 48-7 is the final. Bill Snyder's team wins their 11th in a row, their 42nd in a row against non-ranked opponents at home as the 2 coaches meet at midfield. 48-7, Wildcats win.